All right. Ever picture yourself transforming like rough metal into a smooth masterpiece?
It's pretty amazing.
That's the magic of abrasive blasting.
Yeah, it is.
We're diving deep into RoleCatcher's resources to get you prepped for those abrasive blasting operator interviews.
Get ready to impress some people.
Exactly. And a great place to start is understanding what this job really entails.
Okay.
We're talking about more than just blasting away rust.
Yeah, it's a lot more than that.
Oh.
It's about precision, safety, using some really cool high-pressure tools.
Okay.
Think blasters, sand cabinets.
Wow.
It's where technical skill meets artistry.
Like a sculptor, but with industrial strength tools.
Precisely. This role demands a very unique blend of expertise.
Okay.
You'll need technical know-how to operate those tools, problem-solving skills to troubleshoot any hiccups on the job,
Right.
and an unwavering commitment to safety.
Of course, safety is always paramount.
Always.
Speaking of problem solving, RoleCatcher's interview guides have some real brain teaser questions.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Let's dive into a few, shall we?
Absolutely. Let's see what we've got.
First up, can you explain your experience with rust proofing? Now, you might be thinking, hold on, isn't this about abrasive blasting?
Right. But think of it this way. Interviewers want to gauge your broader understanding of surface treatment.
Okay.
It shows you're not just fixated on one technique.
Makes sense.
You understand the bigger picture.
So how should someone approach this question, even if they don't have direct rust-proofing experience?
This is where you get creative.
Okay.
Think back to any projects, hobbies, or even school courses where you worked with metal, coatings, surface preparation.
Okay.
Even fixing a rusty bike
Oh, yeah?
or refinishing furniture involves understanding the principles of rust and how to protect surfaces.
It's all about drawing those connections.
Exactly. Instead of saying, I don't have professional experience, you could say, while most of my experience has been in your area,
Right.
I have always been fascinated by how different materials react and the techniques for protecting them. For example, when I share your experience, I mention a relevant skill or insight.
That's a great way to showcase your transferable skills and passion for the field. RoleCatcher also provides a sample response to help guide you.
Oh, great.
It says, I've always been interested in how things work, and rust proofing is no exception. I've tackled several DIY projects on my car and around the house, learning about different methods and materials along the way. I'm eager to expand my knowledge and skills further in a professional setting.
What I like about that response is the enthusiasm and willingness to learn.
Yeah.
Remember, interviewers are looking for someone who is eager to grow and develop their skills.
That's key.
It is.
Okay, let's move on to a question that dives a little deeper into the process.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that the rust-proofing process is effective?
Okay.
What are they really getting at here?
This question is all about showcasing your attention to detail
Okay.
and understanding of the process.
Okay.
It's not enough to just go through the motions. You need to understand the why behind each step.
Right, they want to see that you're invested in quality.
Exactly. So when you answer this,
Yeah.
walk them through your approach.
Okay.
Start with meticulous preparation,
Good.
cleaning the surface, addressing existing rust, ensuring everything is dry.
Right.
Then talk about choosing the right product for the specific material and environment.
Oh.
Finally, emphasize the importance of proper application, even coverage, adequate drying time, and quality control checks.
Don't forget about those inspections.
Yeah.
It's one thing to apply the rust proofing, but you need to make sure it's done right.
Absolutely. This is where you can really impress them with your knowledge.
Okay.
Mention using a gauge to check the thickness of the coating,
Right.
or explaining how you identify potential issues like pinholes or air bubbles.
RoleCatcher's sample response really emphasizes this attention to detail. For me, effective rust proofing starts with meticulous preparation. That means thoroughly cleaning the surface, addressing any existing rust, and ensuring the area is completely dry. Then it's about choosing the right rust-proofing product for the material and environment. Finally, proper application is crucial, ensuring even coverage and allowing for adequate drying time.
That response clearly demonstrates an understanding of the process from start to finish.
Now, the next question tackles a crucial aspect of this field, staying updated.
Okay.
It asks, how do you stay up to date with new rust-proofing techniques and products? Why is this so important for an abrasive blasting operator?
This field is constantly evolving.
It is.
New technologies, products, and safety regulations emerge all the time.
Right.
Employers want to know you're proactive about your professional development.
Makes sense.
It shows you're committed to delivering top-notch work.
So it's not enough to just rest on your laurels. You have to show them you're eager to learn and adapt.
Exactly. Think about specific examples you can share.
Okay.
Do you subscribe to industry magazines like Corrosion Prevention and Control?
Right.
Do you follow online forums where professionals exchange ideas?
Oh, interesting.
Have you attended any workshops or conferences?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Even mentioning your plans to pursue relevant certifications like the ENS Coding Inspector certification can make a big difference.
Those are all great points. What I love about RoleCatcher is that they provide a sample response that ties all of this together. I make it a priority to stay current in this field. I subscribe to industry magazines like Corrosion Prevention and Control and follow online forums where professionals share new techniques and product reviews. I'm also planning to pursue the NACE Coding Inspector certification to deepen my knowledge.
That answer paints a picture of someone who is genuinely invested in their craft.
It's like you said earlier, a commitment to continuous learning.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, this next question throws a bit of a curveball. How do you handle unexpected challenges during the rust-proofing process? It's easy to talk about things going smoothly. But what about those moments when things don't go according to plan?
This is where your problem-solving skills really shine.
Right.
Interviewers want to see that you can think on your feet, stay calm under pressure, and find solutions.
And how do you recommend showcasing those skills effectively?
Storytelling.
Okay.
Share a specific example from your experience.
Okay.
Don't just say, I'm a good problem solver.
Right.
Instead, paint a picture.
Okay.
Describe the situation where you encountered a challenge, the steps you took to identify the cause,
Right.
the solution you implemented,
Okay.
and the positive outcome you achieved.
Right. Show, don't tell.
Exactly.
And we're back diving deeper into the world of abrasive blasting operator interviews.
We're going to unravel the art of acing those tricky behavioral questions.
You know, the ones where they ask you to tell me about a time when, and you hope your mind doesn't go blank.
But don't worry, we're going to equip you with some strategies and insights to navigate these challenges with confidence.
Sounds good to me. Where do we start?
Well, let's jump right into our next question from RoleCatcher's Guide. How do you prioritize tasks when working on multiple rust-proofing projects at once?
Okay.
This one's all about organization and showcasing your ability to juggle multiple deadlines without breaking a sweat.
It's like they can smell the panic and they want to see how you handle the heat.
Exactly. The key here is to demonstrate a systematic approach. Maybe you use a physical planner, a digital to-do list app, or even color-coded sticky notes.
Sure.
Whatever your method, highlight your ability to break down complex projects into smaller, manageable tasks.
Right, because it's easy to feel overwhelmed when you've got multiple projects on your plate. Breaking them down into smaller steps makes it much more manageable.
Precisely. And don't forget to emphasize your prioritization skills. Explain how you decide which tasks take precedence based on deadlines, urgency, and the resources available.
So, for example, if you have a rush order with a tight deadline, that would naturally take priority over a project with a more flexible timeline.
Exactly. And if you really want to impress them, mention tools or techniques you use to stay organized, like project management apps or the Eisenhower matrix. It shows you're not just winging it, you've got a strategic approach to getting things done.
I love that. It's all about showcasing your professionalism and ability to handle the demands of the job. RoleCatcher provides a great sample response that illustrates this point. Quote, when handling multiple projects, I start by clearly listing all tasks and deadlines. I then prioritize based on urgency and client expectations. For example, a rush order with a tight deadline will naturally take precedence. I also consider the scope and complexity of each task to ensure efficient workflow. Utilizing a digital task manager helps me visualize progress and stay organized, preventing any project from falling behind.
What I find effective about that response is how it clearly outlines the process of breaking down and prioritizing tasks while also showcasing the use of technology to stay organized.
It paints a picture of someone who's got it all under control. Now, let's move on to a question that's all about attention to detail and knowing the rules of the game. How do you ensure that your rust-proofing work meets industry standards and regulations?
This is a critical question because it demonstrates your commitment to quality and compliance. You want to show interviewers that you're not just focused on getting the job done, you're dedicated to doing it right.
It's about understanding that there's a right way to do things, and you're committed to upholding those standards.
Precisely. This is where your knowledge of industry organizations and certifications comes into play. Mention organizations like NS, the National Association of Corrosion Engineers, or SSPC, the Society for Protective Coatings. Familiarity with these organizations shows you're aware of the latest best practices and guidelines.
It's like having a seal of approval from the expert.
Exactly. And if you can even mention specific standards like ISO 112944 for corrosion protection. It demonstrates a deeper understanding of the industry's regulatory landscape.
That's impressive. It's clear that you've done your homework.
Well, you know me, always up for a good deep dive. But seriously, showing that you're knowledgeable about industry standards and regulations reassures potential employers that you're someone they can trust to uphold the highest levels of quality and safety.
It makes you a more valuable asset. Now let's see what RoleCatcher suggests for tackling this question. Their sample response says, adhering to industry standards is non-negotiable for me. I stay informed about the latest regulations and guidelines through organizations like NACE and SSPC. Before starting any project, I consult relevant standards to determine the appropriate surface preparation, coating thickness, and application methods. I also maintain meticulous records to document my work and ensure traceability.
I like how this response emphasizes the importance of documentation. It shows a commitment to accountability and quality assurance, which are highly valued traits in this field.
It's like they say, if it's not documented, it didn't happen.
Exactly. Thorough documentation protects both you and the employer. It demonstrates professionalism and a commitment to doing things by the book.
Speaking of by the book, let's move on to a question that delves into the world of materials. Can you explain your experience with different rust-proofing materials? Now, I have to admit, when I think of abrasive blasting, I don't immediately think of material science.
It's easy to focus solely on the blasting aspect, but understanding the properties of different materials is crucial for effective rust-proofing and corrosion prevention.
It's about choosing the right tool for the job, or, in this case, the right material for the surface.
Precisely. Think of it like this. You wouldn't use a sledgehammer to crack a nut, would you?
Hopefully not.
Similarly, different rust-proofing materials have different strengths, weaknesses, and applications.
So it's about knowing when to use a zinc coating versus an epoxy primer versus a wax-based sealant.
Exactly. And being able to explain your reasoning to the interviewer, for instance, you might say, for heavy-duty industrial applications, I often recommend zinc-rich primers due to their excellent corrosion resistance. However, for automotive applications where aesthetics are important, epoxy primers offer a durable and visually appealing finish.
It's about demonstrating that you understand the nuances of each material and can choose the best option based on the specific needs of the project.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to mention how environmental factors might influence your decision. For example, if you're working on a project near the coast, you might need to consider the corrosive effects of salt water and choose a material that can withstand those harsh conditions.
Now that's next-level expertise. RoleCatcher's sample answer for this question does a great job of highlighting both breadth and depth of knowledge. I've worked with a variety of rust-proofing materials, each with its pros and cons. For heavy-duty industrial applications, I often recommend zinc-rich primers due to their excellent corrosion resistance. For automotive applications, epoxy primers offer a durable and aesthetically pleasing finish. However, when working with delicate surfaces, I prefer wax-based sealants due to their non-invasive nature.
I like how that response covers a wide range of materials and applications. It shows a well-rounded understanding of the different options available.
It also highlights the importance of adapting your approach based on the specific requirements of each project. Now, no time is money, so let's move on to a question that's close to everyone's heart, the budget. The next question asks, how do you ensure that rust-proofing work is completed within budget and on time? Talk about pressure.
This one's a classic. It's not enough to just do the job well, you need to do it efficiently and cost-effectively. Employers want to see that you're mindful of their bottom line.
So how do you recommend approaching this question in a way that showcases your budget-savvy skills?
It's all about demonstrating your project management abilities. Highlight your skills in estimating project timelines, tracking progress, and managing resources effectively. Mention tools you use, like Gantt charts or project management software, to show that you're organized and on top of deadlines.
It's about painting a picture of someone who's organized, efficient, and results-oriented.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the importance of communication. Keeping clients informed about progress, any potential delays, or budget adjustments is key to managing expectations and building trust.
Transparency is key. It's much better to address any issues head-on than to try to sweep them under the rug.
Absolutely. Honesty and open communication go a long way in this industry.
RoleCatcher's sample answer for this question does a great job of showcasing those communication skills. I understand the importance of staying within budget and on schedule. I always begin by carefully assessing the scope of work, factoring in material costs, labor hours, and potential challenges. I then create a detailed project plan and timeline, which I share with the client to ensure we're on the same page. Throughout the project, I track progress closely and communicate any updates or adjustments to the client promptly. This proactive approach helps minimize surprises and keeps the project on track, both financially and temporally.
That response hits all the right notes. It emphasizes planning, transparency, and proactive communication, all essential qualities for successful project management.
It shows that you're not just a skilled technician, but also a strategic thinker who can manage projects effectively. And on that note, let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll tackle those curveball behavioral questions and reveal RoleCatcher's secret weapon for acing those interviews. Stay tuned. And we're back for the final stretch of our Abrasive Blasting Operator interview prep. We've covered a ton of ground from understanding the technical aspects to mastering project management.
But now it's time to tackle those curveball questions, the ones that really give you a chance to shine.
You mean those, tell me about a time when questions that make you sweat a little?
Exactly. Behavioral questions.
Yep.
They're designed to go beyond your technical skills and give interviewers a glimpse into your personality, work ethic, and how you handle pressure.
They want to know how you'll react in real-world situations, not just what you know on paper.
Precisely.
Okay.
So let's dive into one of these challenging questions from RoleCatcher's Guide. Question 9 asks, can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a rust-proofing issue on a customer's vehicle? Okay. This one's all about showcasing your problem-solving skills in action.
It's one thing to say you're a problem solver, but it's another to back it up with a real-life example.
Exactly. So how do you nail this type of question?
Yeah.
It's all about crafting a compelling story.
Yes.
Set the scene.
Yep.
Describe the situation, the problem you encountered, and the steps you took to identify the root cause.
Okay.
Then walk the interviewer through your solution.
Right.
What did you do? What resources or knowledge did you draw upon?
Right. It's like you're painting a picture with your words, allowing the interviewer to really visualize your problem-solving process in action.
Precisely. And don't forget to mention the outcome.
Right.
Did you save the day? Did the customer leave happy? Did you learn a valuable lesson from the experience?
Right.
These details make your story more memorable and impactful.
It's all about showcasing your ability to think on your feet, find solutions, and deliver results.
Yes.
RoleCatcher provides a fantastic example of how to structure this type of response. It says, I once had a customer bring in a classic car for rust proofing. After the initial application, we noticed some bubbling and discoloration on a particular panel. I immediately halted the process to investigate. After carefully inspecting the area and consulting the product data sheets, I realized the issue stemmed from a previous repair where a different type of metal had been used. To rectify the situation, I carefully removed the affected coating, treated the dissimilar metals to prevent galvanic corrosion, and reapplied the rust-proofing product, ensuring a perfect match with the original finish.
That's a great example of a success story.
Yeah.
It clearly outlines the problem, the steps taken to diagnose it, the solution implemented, and the positive outcome.
It also showcases some technical knowledge by mentioning galvanic corrosion, which is a nice touch.
It is.
Okay, ready for the final question?
Hit me with it.
This one's all about communication and building rapport with customers. Question 10. How do you approach communicating with customers about rust-proofing options and recommendations? This one's crucial because it's not enough to be technically proficient. You need to be able to connect with people and explain complex concepts in a clear and understandable way.
Absolutely. You're not just performing a service, you're building relationships.
Right.
This question is your opportunity to demonstrate those interpersonal skills.
So it's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it.
Precisely. Think about the qualities that make for effective communication.
Sure.
Active listening, empathy, patience, and the ability to tailor your language to the audience.
It's about meeting the customer where they are not talking over their heads with technical jargon.
Exactly. Start by actively listening to the customer's needs and concerns.
Right.
Then explain the different rust-proofing options and materials available, highlighting their respective pros and cons in relation to the customer's specific situation.
Right.
The key is to empower them to make an informed decision.
It's about being a trusted advisor, not just a salesperson.
Precisely. RoleCatcher's suggested approach captures this essence beautifully.
Okay.
It says, when discussing rust-proofing options, I prioritize clear and concise communication. I first take the time to understand the customer's needs and concerns. Then, I explain the different rust-proofing methods and materials available, highlighting their respective pros and cons in relation to the customer's specific situation. I believe in empowering the customer to make an informed decision, so I encourage questions and provide honest, straightforward answers. Ultimately, my goal is to build trust and ensure the customer feels confident in their chosen solution.
That response really highlights the importance of building rapport and establishing a relationship of trust.
Yes.
It's about more than just closing a deal. It's about creating a positive customer experience.
Exactly. And those positive experiences lead to repeat business and referrals, which are invaluable in this industry.
Speaking of invaluable, we can't wrap up this episode without highlighting one of RoleCatcher's most impressive features, their AI-powered feedback system.
It's like having a virtual interview coach in your back pocket.
Seriously. Imagine having an AI analyze your answers to these interview questions,
It's amazing.
providing feedback on clarity, conciseness, even the use of industry jargon.
Wow.
It's like a secret weapon for polishing your interview skills.
It is.
And it goes beyond just grammar and vocabulary.
Right.
RoleCatcher's AI can even assess your tone and suggest ways to sound more confident, enthusiastic, or persuasive.
It's like having a personal branding expert fine-tuning your every word.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So whether you're just starting your abrasive blasting operator journey or looking to level up your interview game, RoleCatcher has the tools and resources to help you succeed.
Absolutely.
It's been an incredible deep dive, and we hope you've gained valuable insights of practical strategies to ace those interviews. Remember, preparation is key.
Yes.
With RoleCatcher by your side, you'll be well on your way to landing that dream job.
100%.
So go out there, knock 'em dead, and get ready to blast your way to career success.
You got this.